2014 BMW X1. Customer purchased an Android radio that goes on the top where the pocket is. First thing we're gonna do is remove this wood grain panel. The entire panel comes off. Then we pry that off. An entire panel comes out like this as one piece. Okay, then disconnect the harness. That's for the edge, I believe. So remove this. Alright, the second step is we're gonna have to take this pocket out. If you look through this bottom opening where the air vent used to be, right there on the corner, there is a screw there. See that screw right there? And there's another one on the other side, obviously. That screw, we're gonna remove those two torque screws and the pocket should come out. After removing two screws, this just simply comes out. So this was the screw we were removing, one on each end. There's one here, one there. And disconnect this harness. Alright, the next step is to pry this part, this heater control out. So you just pry that off. Alright, so next step is to remove this bottom of the heater control. That pries out. I have it out. Then put your hand behind. Be sure not to grab just the plastic. You grab the heater control board, because these are thin plastic. You may crack it. So put your hand, grab it, back of the heater control, pull straight forward, and this comes out like that. And disconnect the heater control wires, the plugs. So after you disconnect the heater control out, next step is we're going to remove two screws holding on to the radio board. There are two screws, one here, one there. We're going to remove that.
No.
Okay, so after you remove two screws underneath, the radio should come out straight forward. Now we're gonna disconnect just the main harness. You push this one downward like this, and the entire harness comes out like that. Okay, so next step we're gonna do is there is a fiber optic cable here. We're gonna transfer that over to new T-harness that comes with male and female, and that's where the fiber optic cable is. You simply lift up. There's a locking tab on the top. Let me shine the light so you can see it better. That locking tab, you just simply lift that upward. That releases the fiber optic cable. Be sure to put that on outer end. This only fits in one way because they have a round and flat side, so you cannot make a mistake. Then you're just gonna simply put it onto the new T-harness. That's the same one. So put this one over to that where the factory plug goes into. This back in here. No, on here. Outer ones. Yep. It only fits in one way.
Left or right?
It only goes in one way. Yep, that's it. Straight in.
Yep.
Yep. Now that goes back into the radio. that plugs back into the factory radio like that. Alright, so I got the T-harness male side plugged back into the factory radio. Alright, so male and female of the other side plugs into the factory harness we unplugged. Make sure you lock that clip on. Okay, so this is the iDrive knob where it's gonna go in here. I'll show you later. And that white cable plugs in there. Black plug where it says iDrive in, that plugs in there. Basically, this is the long cable. It's not an iDrive, even though they call it, but it's actually a remote control that you can select function from left to right, media and stuff. Alright, so we are running this white cable up to the top where the monitor plugs into. Be sure not to interfere with this air vent. Just plug in main harness on the back of the monitor. We're gonna run the USB and 4G antenna later time. We just want to make sure that it works. Alright, so it's in. So it's a touchscreen. It shows that doors open, which we have a doors open, so which is good news. So that's the car information. Now this resolution setting, I'm gonna do the backup cam later. The Carplay. Alright, so that function comes on. So once you pair your Bluetooth on iPhone or Android, it comes up. Can you play some music?
Tiene una deuda alta en la tarjeta de crédito. Hay una manera de...
We had some issue with the audio. This jack was intimate. And not only that, the ground side, which happens to be white with blue trace, that's supposed to be shielded. That's the negative side. I didn't have a ground shield, so what happens is when I put the audio input here from the monitor, either it gets all distorted or left side is low volume, right side doesn't play. So I soldered this PC board. Now I do have a sound on both sides, but still distorted, and I found out the shielded wire wasn't getting negative. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this wire. Well, actually we're not gonna cut it. We're just gonna simply ground this shielded wire, which is a white blue wire, to the ground, and audio comes back on to normal. So that's the only glitch we had. Another thing you don't have, this monitor is made for the factory monitor. So if you don't have, let me turn this one over. If you don't have this connection here, when you hit the OEM button on the monitor, you get all snowy picture because nothing plugged in here. So that only supported by, if you have a factory monitor, then you get the factory information here. Since you don't have anything here, we don't get that. So you're only gonna get just the radio display down here, not on the top. Everything seems to be working. We got T-harness put in. We fixed the ground wire for the aux input. Everything seems to be working. We're just putting it back together. Alright, so this dummy panel came off. That's where the iDrive goes in. Plugs in right there.
Sí es bilingüe, pero para hablar verga. Ya. Que no voy a...
See the wire? Okay, there's no video signal. couple things we gotta do. It has to be, the cam type has to be aftermarket cam, and aftermarket cam format has to be NTSC. And the radar for aftermarket cam, it has to be on. So when you put it in reverse, it goes into reverse mode, but we have no video signal. We're gonna figure it out why. We're going crazy. We did not have no reverse cam video. Turned out the manufacturer put the wrong label on it. It says video input right here, and this one says rear cam. So we connected, this one is a rear cam. Video input, I assume that is a video input just in case you want to watch something else from either cell phone or DVD player. It said video input, but that video input is actually reversed. This should be video input. This is the backup cam. So once you reverse that, the video, well, we are shooting the sky, but the video shows as it's supposed to be. Alright, so the backup cam does work, as you can see. So this manufacturer put the wrong label, which drove me crazy. So just in case you guys run into the same issue, just switch the yellow wire from one to another to see if that works. But our case, the video input is actually the reverse cam input. Everything works. Good.
Thank you.
Weather. Weather.
¿Cuál exactamente? Pedro Arch.